Here we go. Good morning, everyone. It's time to rise and shine.
In the quiet of the morning light, hands raised high in pure delight, thankful whispers in a gentle breeze, grateful heart with such sweet ease. Thank you, Lord, for
Time to rise and shine.
we change the world history right here where we're from. It's new beginnings, you and me, 'cause we're not done. In our city, in our city, in our city, we're not done. I appreciate that.
Okay, that was enough of that. Good morning. How's everybody doing? I'm normally not here on Fridays, but since I had to get out, since I had to leave early yesterday, I thought I would just, stop by today. Got a guest coming up 7:30, Mickey McDermott, attorney at law. So if you guys got any any legal questions or anything like that, he'll be here to answer a couple of them for you, maybe, or tell you, you know, take a long walk off a short pier or something. I don't know, but I don't know what he's gonna say. But he'll join me via the virtual studio. But right now, it is time for our daily bread. And when we come back, after all of this is over, and our motivational speech today is the power of attitudes. Trust me, attitudes can take you a long way, or they can take you down quick. It's all up to you. But good morning to you. Let's give the good Lord a hand for still being here. Okay, good. We're still here, so that's a good sign. Okay, and let's give him a drum roll. Because you did not have to be here. Okay, I'm just saying you might want to think about that. Okay, because it is what it is. So let us go to our daily bread, and then we'll be back within the next few minutes here with something to talk about. Okay, I'm feeling pretty good this morning. I'm feeling pretty good. All right, so you hang loose. And we'll be back.
Welcome to today's encouragement from Our Daily Bread. Today's reading, titled A Ludicrous Investment, was written by Win Collier. In 1929, as the U.S. economy crashed, millions of people lost everything. But not Floyd Odlum. As everyone else panicked and sold their stocks at cut-rate prices, Odlum appeared to foolishly jump in and purchase stocks just as the nation's future disintegrated. But Odlum's foolish perspective paid off, yielding robust investments that endured for decades. In Jeremiah 32, God told Jeremiah to make what seemed like an absolutely ludicrous investment. Buy the field at Anathoth in the territory of Benjamin. This was no time to be buying fields, however. The entire country was on the verge of being ransacked. The army of the king of Babylon was besieging Jerusalem, and whatever field Jeremiah purchased would soon be Babylon's. What fool makes an investment when everything would soon be lost? Well, the person who's listening to God, the one who intended a future no one else could envision. In Jeremiah 32:15 we read, "This is what the Lord Almighty, the God of Israel, says, houses, fields, and vineyards will again be bought in this land." God saw more than the ruin. God promised to bring redemption, healing, and restoration. A ludicrous investment in a relationship or service for God isn't foolish. It's the wisest possible move when God leads us to make it, and it's essential that we prayerfully seek to know He's behind the instruction. A foolish investment in others as God leads makes all the sense in the world. Today's Our Daily Bread devotional scripture reading is from Jeremiah chapter 32, verses 6 through 15. Jeremiah said, "The word of the Lord came to me. Hanamel, son of Shallum your uncle, is going to come to you and say, 'Buy my field at Anathoth, because as nearest relative it is your right and duty to buy it.'" Then, just as the Lord had said, my cousin Hanamel came to me in the courtyard of the guard and said, "Buy my field at Anathoth in the territory of Benjamin. Since it is your right to redeem it and possess it, buy it for yourself." I knew that this was the word of the Lord. So I bought the field at Anathoth from my cousin Hanamel and weighed out for him 17 shekels of silver. I signed and sealed the deed, had it witnessed, and weighed out the silver on the scales. I took the deed of purchase, the sealed copy containing the terms and conditions, as well as the unsealed copy, and I gave this deed to Baruch, son of Neriah, the son of Maaseiah, in the presence of my cousin Hanamel, and of the witness who had signed the deed, and all of the Jews sitting in the courtyard of the guard. In their presence, I gave Baruch these instructions. "This is what the Lord Almighty, the God of Israel, says. Take these documents, both the sealed and the unsealed copies of the deed of purchase and put them in a clay jar so they will last a long time. For this is what the Lord Almighty, the God of Israel says, houses, fields, and vineyards will again be bought in this land. Let's pray. Our Heavenly Father, when everything around us comes crashing down, so often we withdraw into ourselves and seek to protect what we have, rather than seek what you have for us. Help us to look to you for all we need in life, and to invest in the people and things that please you. Thank you, Lord. It's in Jesus' name we pray. Amen. Thanks for listening. I'm Stephen, and today's encouragement was provided by Our Daily Bread Ministries.
Shout, cows are marching all about, and those caissons go rolling along. For it's high, high here in the field artillery. Count out your numbers, let us count. 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. And wherever you go, you will always know that those caissons go rolling along.
Okay. We gotta get some respect to the airport. We got United States Airport. And last but certainly not least, the U.S. Marine Corps.
To the shores of Tripoli, we will fight our country's battles in the air, on land and sea. First we fight for right and freedom, and to keep our honor free. We are proud to claim the title of United States.
It doesn't get any better than that first thing in the morning. At least this morning we are still the United States of America, even though I think some Democrats down there don't like that too often, too much. But that's okay. We got this. Okay, we got this. We got it covered. Now, I got a little speech. Well, it's not a speech, a little motivational speech. I think you'll like this one. You haven't heard this in a long time. I think you'll like this. It's called The Power of Attitude. And if you live long enough, you'll realize that you are absolutely realize that a lot of the things that happen to us because of our attitude. Somebody once said, if you think you can, or if you think you can't, you're right. There's a lot of wisdom in that statement. Trust me, there are days I don't think I can, but I amaze myself and I figure out I can do it sometimes. Okay. So anyway, it's called The Power of Attitude. I think you will absolutely enjoy this. If you don't, something wrong with you. Okay, you just something wrong with you. I don't know what it's going to be, but we will be back uno momento as soon as I can figure out where to get it, where it's at. Oh, there it is, right there. So we'll be back with the start of our show right after this. Okay, really, I'm not seriously.
There are only two animals on the planet that the Creator identified himself with. The first one is the eagle. The eagle. And the second animal is the lion. And when I identified those two animals as his favorite to identify himself with, I recognized I better study these two animals, because if he is the leader of the universe and I want to be a leader on earth, I better find out the nature of these animals and also the attitude of these animals. And I discovered that both of them are the kings of their domain. The eagle is the king of the bird kingdom, and the lion is the king of the animal kingdom. But let's talk a little bit about the lion. The lion has what I call the spirit of leadership. And this word spirit here is referring to attitude. Everybody say attitude. A leader has an attitude that makes him or her different from followers. Now, the lion is the king of the jungle, but the lion to me is a great source of encouragement to all of us. I want you to write this down. Remember this as long as you live. Number one, the lion is not the tallest animal in the jungle. Number two, the lion is not the largest animal in the jungle. Number three, the lion is not the heaviest animal in the jungle. Number four, the lion is not the smartest animal or the most intelligent animal in the jungle. And yet, when he shows up, they all run away. Well, here's one of my favorite quotes that I put in my books, and I believe it really brings home the point. An army of sheep led by a lion will always defeat an army of lions led by a sheep. And the answers to that dilemma is this: because leadership can transform cowards into violent warriors. The right kind of leadership can transform a timid into bold people who are fearless. Leadership is that powerful. Leadership can walk into a camp of depressed people, and in 20 minutes they have turned on into unbelievable, powerful armies. Because leadership determines everything. The lion is the king of the jungle because of one word: attitude. Everybody say attitude. Write it down. Attitude. The lion has a different attitude that makes every animal afraid of him. Now, we don't want to lead by fear, but it does take respect for you to become a leader. When I use the word fear in the jungle, we're talking about respect. The elephant respects the lion. The hyenas respect the lion. The giraffes, they respect the lion. What makes these massive animals respect such a small cat? The attitude is the difference. For example, a lion will see an elephant, and the thing that comes to his mind, one word: lunch. I could eat this thing. and he acts the way he thinks. Now, here's another amazing mystery. The elephant is larger, bigger, stronger, more powerful, heavier, and more intelligent. And yet, when the elephant sees the lion, one word comes to mind: eater. Attitude is a product of belief. You cannot have an attitude beyond your belief. So your attitude comes from your belief system. The lion is the king because of what he believes about himself.
Okay,
There are
that was
only
all.
two animals on the planet that the
Got
Creator
it.
identified himself with.
Hold on,
The first
this is really a good lesson, though. This is really a good lesson. Most of us are stopped. Most of us are stopped by our own self, not by external forces. Okay. Okay. This is a great thing. So the next time you get in a dump at work, you know, look at the guy behind you. Look at the guy behind you because he's probably worse off than you are. Okay. So change your attitude, and human beings. Now you guys may not realize this, but human beings are the only thing on God's green earth that can change their attitude and change their direction. That can change their future. Okay, they're the only ones. No, nobody else can. I mean, a dog's gonna be a dog. I got a dog in the neighborhood, right? I got a dog in the neighborhood, and the dog, I mean, he wants the same thing every day. He wants me to pet him on the stomach and say, "Hey, okay." So I pet him on the stomach, and he just keeps moving on. I don't know why. He gets pregnant. Okay, it ain't a he. He's not a transgender dog. It's a female dog, and he gets pregnant like every time he drops a load. 6 months later, he pregnant again. I'm gonna have to take him down to the health department and get him some of those pills that they take to keep from getting pregnant. Because I'm tired of this dog getting pregnant. I think other dogs are taking advantage of him. I think or of her. I think people, and I'm gonna have to call the police on them or something because this is getting crazy here. I'm just saying. Every 6 months the dog is pregnant. Who can get pregnant that fast? Okay, I don't know. Anyway, so today's the 3rd day of October. The year 2025, I believe that's what that is. So we're just trying to, make it in here. Normally I'm not here on Fridays, but because I had to leave out early yesterday, I decided to come on today because it's cheap. If I can't give you my full appreciation, my full effort Monday through Thursday, then I'll make up for it by working on a Friday. And that's the only reason why I'm here. 'Cause other than that, I made myself a promise. Whenever I got to this point in life, I wouldn't work on Fridays. So every week would be a 3-day weekend for me. Okay, but it didn't quite work out that way yet. I looked at my checking account, and I found out that I need. I found out that I need some. I need some more money. Mm-hmm. Yep. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Anyway, so good morning to everybody. Hope this day finds you well. I read in the paper last night that 100,000 federal workers were going to quit, and all I can say is thank God they quit. Because if you can afford to quit your job because you mad at the president of the United States, which not the president that's shutting down the government, it's Congress, and I'm giving both of them equal responsibility for the mess that we find ourselves into. But if you can quit your job, I'm hoping that was just I'm on today because I skipped out early yesterday. Okay? I skipped out early yesterday, so I just came in today because I'm a soldier still, and a man as good as his word. So I had to make up for yesterday. Okay, now I am actually waiting for my guest to show up, Mickey McDermott, attorney at law, and So hopefully he'll be here to talk to us with somebody else and to answer some questions for you guys if you have them. Um, but I'm telling you, it is life is life's pretty good. Life is pretty good right now. I had a whole bunch of whole bunch of notes, and I can't seem to find my document that I had all these notes on. I don't know what happened to them, but it is somewhere here. Somewhere it's here. I don't know where it's at, but it's on my computer someplace. And I got up extra early because Monday through Thursday. Okay, you got Friday, Saturday, and Sunday off. I say a 3-day weekend, not 3-day week. I don't want to get I don't want to get fat and lazy. So I said a 3-day weekend, not a 3-day week. That's cheating. Man. I would feel guilty. Okay. So I'm just saying. So anyway, good morning to everybody, and everybody's whining about the federal government closing down. I don't really care, And the only people that I care about when it comes to the government shutting down for a couple days, people not getting paid, are old folks and getting their. I know I haven't seen the Ferris wheel. Somebody said it's Ferris wheel's a HBCU Ferris wheel. Well, I don't know. I listen. I don't. Me and Ferris wheels have never. But it's gonna be an interesting weekend now in Montgomery. Though we got a couple football games, challenges here, and everything like that. So we they're doing pretty good, I guess. I mean, hopefully. Now I'm hoping this probably beyond my reasonable expectations, but I am hoping we can actually have a great weekend. The fair's in town. I got my grandkids some tickets with my connections, so I'm gonna let them go. I never really talk about my grandkids, do I? Because I still got a kid, but my grandkids are some of the prettiest kids you ever want to see. Um, got us some ticket. Had to go and beg on my knees for the ticket because I don't I mean once you live in Washington State, there's a city in Washington called Puyallup, and you want to see a fair. I mean, the ones here is okay for Montgomery, Alabama, but once you've seen that one, and once you see how things are real fair, you're not too motivated by the one that comes here. But however, I did go a couple of times, and it's the same fare every time. Every time somebody, every time. Well, it's the same fare, okay. And I'm not mad. I mean, that's cool. I mean, they can't be Washington. I mean, Montgomery, Alabama is Montgomery, Alabama. So I mean, y'all still fighting the Civil War down here, so I can understand. So we actually kind of lucky we getting the fare at all. I mean, we getting anything at all because we still fight the war. We will take time out. We'll take time out. Uh, I had such great things to say today. I had such great things. Okay, let me see here now. Okay, let me see. Let me see. Let me see. Okay, I don't know what happened to all my good stuff. Man, this is really messed up. Okay, I'm gonna find it when I take a break in a little bit because I had some great stuff today. I mean, I was I was on fire last night when I was looking at all this stuff. But anyway, Alabama National Fair, of course, is in town starting today, as a matter of fact. Again, if you want to give us a call, you got something you want to contribute um, to the show. Now, I haven't seen the Ferris wheel. I've never been a fan of Ferris wheels. I've never been a fan of Ferris wheel. But I do want to, well, since my guest is not here yet, I do want to ask the question. And I was thinking about this most of the week. Why do we have conversations in this town or any city in America? Why do we have conversations? Is it to is it is it to fix problems, or is it really just to complain? You know. And don't forget this year, I'm starting it back again. We got the helping hand thing again. We're gonna start that probably um, the end of this month. And what we do is every year. Well, I'll tell you about that a little later on. But why do we have conversation? I mean, really, why do we complain so much? Why do we do this? Why do we do that? Because we always I mean, we talk, but we keep talking about the same things. Yeah, me too. But because it is so difficult in the South, and I understand it. I understand it. You know, some pains, some hurt is hard to get rid of. But what I don't get here, people who have had every opportunity to do as they choose with their lives seem to be the people that are complaining the most. And last I checked, there is no place to go in this world where things are perfect. They're just, I mean, if you find it, please let me know. I'm moving. Okay. So that there's no place to go in the world that are perfect. Can things always be better where you are? Probably so. But we ought to be tired. And when I say we, me, you, everybody, we ought to be tired of complaining about our country sometimes. I mean, we're not perfect. You know, we got people who out there on wacko land, and we do, and we always will. But we're not the only country that got people in wacko land. Okay, they got people on wacko land that are everywhere. So how and seriously, how do we get beyond this? Okay. Well, I'm not really working on Friday, but I'm working this Friday because I had to leave early yesterday. I had to go to veterans wellness clinic and do a on-site podcast for those guys, and got some good stuff too. As a matter of fact, but I'll tell you about that a little later on. Why do we um, have the conversations? I mean, really, is it our intent just to complain? You- hey, listen, I got that. I got that. Remember, okay. I try to help you with your show, bro, but how am I supposed to soar with the eagles when I'm surrounded by buzzards? And I did look at the thing with the. Okay, you know what? It's not quite long enough, but I'm going to play it since you did get it. Okay. Oh, there's Mickey. Oh man, what an office he has right there, man. That's a hell of an office right there. I mean, man, that's pretty cool. Good morning, Mickey.
Good morning, sir. Happy Friday to you and your listeners.
You know, your office looks pretty cool from here.
Well, that's because I, like many people, spend more time here than I do at home.
Than you do at home. Well, okay. Now, for you guys who do not know who Mickey McDermott is, he's a good attorney. He can help you out with some of your issues. I mean, and if he can, I guess he'll tell you. But he can help you out with some of your issues. He is a also me and Mickey served in the same unit in the United States Army. Now it was a couple of years apart, you know, like 20 apart, but we walked some of the same ground in Washington State.
Well, I will say this, that when you were in the unit back during the Revolutionary War, those of us that followed behind you, you know,
Yeah,
who actually had electricity and
yeah,
toilets, were mostly grateful for the path that you had trailblazed for us there at Ranger Battalion.
yeah. Yeah, well, I got this guy. You know, I got this guy that told me swear him down. I've never. Hey, you can answer the question that he's always asking me. That when you're in a Ranger battalion, don't they call everybody Ranger?
Of course,
Of course.
everybody wears the black beret, whether you were
Tab.
Ranger qualified or not.
Right, right.
Well,
So
back in the day, we wore black berets.
yeah. Now the legs took them. The
Yeah.
legs are wearing them now.
Actually, it was a general named Shinkavelli.
Check of it. Yeah. And with a
And
name like that, I can see why he changed it.
well, I listened to him speak about it because I you got to understand I was a generational airborne.
Mhm.
My father, my uncle, my cousins, all were airborne. They were all Rangers in Vietnam. They were Rangers and MACSOG, which is Special Forces.
Mhm.
And I went into the company business, and I had to break the news to my uncle that we were losing the black berets going to the tan berets, and I thought he was going to have a stroke. I really did.
Well, when I seen a leg walking around with a beret on, especially a black one, with no wings, no blood in the game, it pissed me off. Shelly Katvili is that guy's name,
That's him.
and I said, well, he's a Russian. I mean, what's he doing changing our berets? But anyway, it was so much. It was what it was.
Yes, but it's good to see you. Happy Friday. Hope you and your listeners are doing well. Let us remember that today is October the 3rd. Today is the 30th anniversary of Operation Gothic Serpent. The extraction and the teams from Somalia. Yesterday and today is Black Hawk Down Day. For those of your listeners who know what that means.
Well, it's also this month the anniversary of Grenada.
Well, that was earlier. That is later in the month.
Later in the month, yeah. It was what was that called? Urgent Fury.
That was Urgent Fury, but Gothic Serpent is the last 5 days.
Right.
In the next 2 days, Mogadishu Mile is tomorrow and Sunday. That's when it occurred. That's when the United Nations abandoned our troops there in Mogadishu, and unfortunately, our Secretary of the Army at the time, Wes Aspen, refused to allow armored forces to extract the Ranger Battalion, the 10th Mountain Division, and the Night Stalkers from Somalia, which resulted in numerous deaths. And our president listened to his, at the time, it was Bill Clinton, listened to his Secretary of Defense at the time instead of his generals. And, troops on the ground are expendable for political reasons.
It did seem to be. As a matter of fact, now during the Grenada thing, also what happened this month was those 250 Marines in what was that? Beirut, wherever they were. Not Beirut.
The Beirut bombing.
Yeah. That was and there's a couple of people that
people don't realize that all these things happened during the high holy Jewish holidays. We're in the middle of Rosh Hashanah and Yom. This is that time of the year, the Feast of the Trumpets, Feast of the Harvest season, Day of Atonement in the Jewish faith. I say that because I'm going to a Jewish funeral at 11 o'clock this morning for a Montgomery citizen. Many of your podcast listeners will know Nikki Rothschild, Nikki Adler Rothschild.
Yeah.
Used to own Wolf's Camera.
Right down Zelda Road.
On Zelda Road, Montgomery Camera Shop, the Hallmark Shop. Nikki passed away in a nursing facility last week. His funeral will be today at Greenwood Cemetery. He'll be interred next to his loving wife I think they were married 50 or 60 years. His son-in-law, David Zimmerman, who was a Montgomery attorney here, good attorney, he's located to Mobile. A lot of your folks will remember Nikki Rothschild.
And he also became an attorney at
age 50.
Yeah, and now, to me at that time that was old.
And he practiced for 25 years, juvenile work, a lot of real estate, number of other things, but he did that for a number of years, and he will be missed. Wow,
I know something. Prayers go out to his family. Wow. Something else happened the other day, and I want to get your perspective on this. Hegseth the other day pretty much blessed out the generals for being fat and all that kind of stuff. Now, a friend of mine says
I just want to know how many of them are cross dressers. That's all I want to know.
I don't know, but a friend of mine says a retired E8 says he shouldn't have did it in public. I say personally, I like what he did, but they were general officers. Now, from a military standpoint, you criticize in private, and you in public you praise. But I think we took our country so far to the other side of the bridge until
he had to write the scale.
right. He had the right
That's
scale.
the way I took it.
Right. And I didn't have a problem with the things he said. I think our military now young troops, people going in now, they're gonna learn what it's like to be an old school army.
Well, I was particularly amazed that we returned to the, let's call it the more stringent discipline in basic training that you and I underwent.
Yeah, I was all right with it.
I remember reading that drill sergeants could no longer touch you.
Yeah, or how
5 years later, they could no longer cuss at you.
Right.
And then they could no longer insult you.
Right.
And I'm going, what's the point of going to basic training? Because basic training was designed to break you down, teach you self-reliance and discipline. I think our country has made a tragic error in not requiring 2 years of compulsory military service for those who can serve. It is the transition from childhood to adulthood in our society and in so many societies. I'll give you a great example. The lady that does my wife's hair, Sue Pin, wonderful young lady. She's from Thailand, but she loves Korean television, and she's Korean music and Korean pop groups. And her grandchildren love Korean pop groups. And recently they were all in mourning because 2 members of a 5-boy band had to go do their 2 years of military service. And I was like, what a wonderful thing to show that they could go from being celebrities in their society to serving their society. And they do it in Israel.
Women too in Israel, I believe.
Well, not just women. I'll give you a great example. The girl who played Wonder Woman in the movies, Gal Gadot. Mm-hmm. Gal Gadot served 2 years in the Israeli army carrying an M16. I'm sorry. That's how you invest yourself in your country. And we have given that up in this country. And, we've so divided our country politically we've got one party who, for the most part, of the Democratic Party. Look, I'm an old Jimmy Carter Democrat. I was raised near Jimmy Carter. I loved him and his family. I emulated their compassion and their dedication and service. Jimmy Carter was a Navy commander, a submarine. That was the generation I grew up with. But the Democratic Party went this way. There's not a Democrat at the local level that I don't love and support. I'm a member of local Democratic clubs, and I'm proud to be that way. But beyond our state, the Democratic Party is the antithesis of our nation and our moral founding. Transism, undefined genders, hatred of our flag, corruption of our Judeo-Christian values, total disregard for life in this country, from abortions to assisted living, death. I'm sorry, that's unacceptable. A society will crumble with those kinds of values. I read a tragic report yesterday. As you know, I represent lots of young men and women in several counties. And I see so many young people now charged with horrendous crimes of violence and passion. And I do my best to represent them and help them. But they're growing up in families that never go to church, don't pay taxes, Nobody's trying to work to get out of public housing. Uh, it's a goal. I've met young girls whose goal is to get old enough to get pregnant so they can get their own apartment and their own private income. It's a transition to adulthood now. It's getting pregnant and having babies. That's not good for society. It's not good for these young people. And if there's any of your callers who disagree with me, that's fine. But you tell me why it's good for our society. It's good for those girls. I met a young football player the other day from a local college, and he wanted some advice on his NIL deal because he's going to make TV commercials for local car ads because he's got a little bit of fame now. And he was talking about how much he loved his mother. Now, this young man is 20 years old. He's 20 years old, and he stops me and he goes, "Hey, my mom had me when I was 13. 13.
Wow.
And I mean, his mother's raised a good young man. He's got a future. But that girl was 13.
Mm.
Is that acceptable in our society? We're not in the 1800s. We're not living in the 1860s South. We're living in 2025. And that 13-year-old girl deserved a chance to grow up and become a young woman before the decision was made for her to have a baby.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of babies, how's my young soldier, young Mr. Elkins, doing?
Well, young Mr. Elkins is going through the transitions. When he graduated last May, a lot of people didn't know they thought he had autism because he never really said much in school for the 4 years he was over there. Well, guess what he was doing yesterday? He was called in cadence.
Well, I'm sure he grew up with a cadence or two from his daddy.
Well, yeah, but he never would say anything. And now I was so proud of him. Wow, you leading the troops down the field? He said, "Yeah, okay, that's good. I knew once he went in, he would have to talk. I knew he would have to say something to somebody. You don't get to sit there and be quiet in the Army. You just and your voice. A lot of people don't understand how you lead and the voice inflection you use can either move a mountain, okay, or get you killed. You have to be able to direct people with your voice, and he's learned. He's got a deep voice, but he never used it. So now he's using it. So I'm happy because I never heard of this thing called smoke. Evidently, that's a new term in the Army now, where when you do something stupid, you get smoked. And
it's push-ups, discipline, yelling, whatever. You're getting smoked. If one screws up, everybody screwed up. You remember that rule? And that's to teach teamwork, discipline, self-reliance, and if one troop screws up, you can cost everybody their lives.
Oh man,
better to learn it in training than to suffer it in combat.
Yeah. He kept calling and said, "Well, how come I got to get smoked when I didn't do anything bad?" And I told him exactly what you just told me. I said, "Listen, you have to understand that everybody's part of a team. Even out here, we're part of a team. We just got a lot of people going different directions. But you got to understand, you can do something wrong. You don't get the bullets to where they're supposed to go at the same time. Okay, you don't get the child there when they're supposed to be there. You're supposed to be there at 10, and you don't get there to 10 after. The enemy got there 5 minutes before you. So it's important. It's important to be part of the team, and that's what he's learning now, that everybody suffers. If one suffers, everybody suffers. So, and there's no better place to understand that than in a C-141 or C-123 or C-130 when you up there in the air. Because one day, brother, I almost went out the door without putting my thing. That what do you call that?
Static line hook.
Yeah, I forgot it. I'm in the plane. I was E3. I'm in the plane with E8s and E7s, and they got knives that are 18 inches long. I said, "Where in the hell are we going?" I didn't know where it was headed. And so I was so scared, but I wanted to do it. Regardless of if it had killed me, I was going to do it anyway because that's what I signed up for. I wanted to be with the best that there was. And at that particular time, the Rangers were, hell, they still are, as a matter of fact, one of the best there are.
Yeah, whenever you need something destroyed
Yeah,
completely, call the Ranger Battalion.
yeah, that's true.
So, what
Listen,
are you doing this Friday, sir?
hopefully I'll still be alive and nothing in particularly fascinating, as a matter of fact. Trying to make a dollar holler, trying to make a living, trying to work on a computer or two if I can get somebody to hire me. So we'll see how that all works out. But let me ask you a legal question right quick. And I know the information you give is not for general, it's for general purposes based on this is not to be considered legal advice. I got you. Okay. But I see these things on YouTube about the police stopping people, and they telling the police that, why did you? And the police says, "Give me your ID, your driver license, and your insurance company." And these people, for some reason, think that they don't have to give the police that card until he tells them why he stopped them. Is there any truth to that?
Absolutely not.
Okay.
Well, the problem is we have, especially since the George Floyd incident, we've become anti-police, and we've taught the next generation you don't have to cooperate. You can run. They have to, the police have all these duties and requirements. Let's put it this way. If you're behind a wheel or you're in a car, it's a privilege. It's not a right to get on the roadway. Okay. And it's called implied consent. Now, racial profiling, targeting, we all know that's happened. It will continue to happen. Okay. But when a uniformed officer, marked vehicles with lights, open and obvious, their law enforcement license, registration, and insurance are required, at least in this state. Let's just say Alabama specifically. Yep, you can roll your window down part way and hand them the information. You can answer their questions, but rolling up the window, I'm not talking to you. Or my favorite one is, and I have actually had these clients, well, I'm not talking to you till I talk to my mother. Okay.
Really?
Or I'm calling my lawyer. Well, I'm sitting here in my office, and I've had people who called me and say, Mickey, you're my lawyer. Tell this police officer, no, ma'am, you give them your license, your registration, and your insurance. Well, I didn't bring it. Well, you're already in violation of the law. You're going to get a ticket. Why not be cooperative to law enforcement? Well, they don't have a right. Yeah, hell, they do. And it's the obstinance and the anguish. And I understand where it's coming from because we have an anti-police society, and the police have done wrong historically in many areas, still do to this day, will tomorrow. But for the majority of our civil society, you have to cooperate. You have to show your driver's license to go into some movie theaters. You can show how old you are. Okay. Sometimes you have to show your driver's license or information to go get a car tag. What's the difference between showing your driver's license to a police officer who's pulled you over on the side of the road for maybe a valid reason, maybe an invalid reason? If it's an invalid reason, that's what the court system is about. But becoming adversarial, non-cooperative, all you're going to do is heighten the reaction of law enforcement. And one of the things I get a lot is, I'm not going to talk to you. You call your supervisor. Tell me why that supervisor is any different than the law enforcement officer in front of you. All you're going to do is draw more attention to you. Now, if the officer is cursing you, threatening you, pulling a gun on you, screaming at you, maybe a supervisor is fine. Maybe you need to call 911 yourself and say, look, this is just a crazy situation. Can I get a second officer here for my safety? That's reasonable. But a regular traffic stop? No, I'm not talking to you till my mama gets here. That's not going to win. You're not going to win that. And I'll be honest with you. You tell that to an Alabama state trooper on I-85. You tell that to a deputy sheriff out in Elmore County or Togga County. You're going to get more police than you've ever seen. You haven't seen that many police since there was a police funeral. Okay? Because they're all going to show up. Everybody on duty is going to come because it's all going to go out on the radio. And you have rights as a citizen, but you implied consent, the privilege of being in a car on the roadway. And we give part of our rights to law enforcement to enforce traffic laws. And because there is a distinct privilege, you have duties and responsibilities to the law enforcement officer that has engaged you. Hope that answers some of your questions.
Yeah, it did. Here's one, though. Now, I don't know if they can do it. Can the police actually bust your windows out your car because you won't let it down far enough or something? I mean, they can actually destroy your property?
If you reach a point to where you refuse to cooperate, if they have your car is blocking the highway, if they feel that you are concealing an illegal substance, like you're consuming, because I've had clients who roll up the window, lock the door, and eat the marijuana. Okay. But they've seen you. You've now given them probable cause that another crime is being committed right in front of you. And in those cases, they can forcibly remove you from your car. We have lots of people who run from the police. The social media is full of these police chases. And about 50% of the time, the people actually escape the police chases. But every once in a while, they cross the line in these police chases. And no amount of police force is enough. They're going to call in the next county, the next state, the troopers, the helicopters, the dogs. And then it's going to go from a simple traffic stop to a felony.
Okay. All right. Let me ask you.
That's a real mistake.
Yeah. One thing I do not like is when the police stop you and they let you go, but they say, "Oh, can we run the dogs around your car?" Now, if you say no, then that gives them probable cause.
If you say no, it gives them probable cause to do a walk around
with the dog.
With the dog, that's public property. That's legal. They can take a dog anywhere. They can take a dog into a school. They can take a dog and walk it by the sidewalk of your house. That's legal. Cross that threshold into your car, they got to have a search warrant, which they can get, or they have to have a probable cause reason to enter the vehicle and force you out. And if you've got a broken taillight and you're not giving them your driver's license and it becomes confrontational, you heighten the circumstances and their response is going to heighten as well. So in other words, if you throw gasoline on the fire, they're going to light it with a match and it's just going to start escalating. And it sometimes turns out bad. The point to defend your rights when you're behind the wheel is really not the best place to defend your rights. It's court of law.
Now, so people know that you know what you're talking about. You used to be a police officer.
I worked my way through law school as a third shift Montgomery police officer. I did indeed. I've made those felony and misdemeanor traffic stops. I've been involved in a police shooting. I've done the whole 9 yards. And I represent police officers all the time for their mistakes. I've sued police officers. I've represented police officers for unlawful use of force. Police officers are human and they make mistakes. That's why we have reviews, internal reviews in police departments. That's why we have courts of law. We have administrative agencies which look at the licensing and training of police officers. And we live in an age where there are cameras everywhere. And those cameras come back to haunt you on either side. I've represented police officers whose cameras have put them in federal prison. I've represented people who have been found not guilty because once we got the footage, we saw where the police officers did wrong. Police officers make mistakes, and and everybody has a right to challenge the actions of a police officer, but you have to do it intelligently and based upon the circumstances. And at the same time, you've got to remember, police officers by law can lie to you. They can lie to you.
Yeah, is that a good thing?
They can lie to you.
They can.
And that right there traps more people than you can think, because they try to outsmart police officers, and police officers are trained. They may not be the greatest police officer in the world, but they are still trained, and they are trained in the art of being a police officer. How many people are trained in being traffic? We don't have classes in civics in high school on how to react at a police stop, which we really need to. I've been years ago when I was the magistrate of the family courts out on Air Base Boulevard. I wanted swimming pools near every public housing in Montgomery, because we kept having young kids sneak into swimming pools and drown. I said, why not just build a swimming pool or YMCA and give free swimming lessons? Why not in high school teach kids how to file taxes? Teach kids how to get a car tag. Teach kids how to go get a driver's license. We teach driver's ed. Why not teach how to interact with the police? What your rights are.
Montgomery, one of our good friends, I think you know William Boyd. And I agree with him on this part, a police review board. I think we need one, not to manage the police, but as a liaison between the civilians, the police, and the mayor's office. What say you?
Well, what's the purpose of a police review committee? What's its job? That's my problem, because we have them in a lot of cities, okay? And in a lot of cities, they will review an incident report by an officer, okay? And then they will vote to terminate or suspend or promote an officer, okay? All right. Sounds reasonable, right?
Sounds reasonable, yeah.
Okay. What training has that police review committee member had in making a felony traffic stop? Zero. Okay. Now, if that's police committee review are ex-police officers, I'm all in favor of it. Okay. But if it's just politicians, and no disrespect, if it's Jamal Brown, you're not going to have a police officer in your community, because if Jamal Brown is the review for a police officer's actions that occurred in a split second when he or she has to make a life-saving decision to use force or not, Jamal Brown is always going to rule against the officer. You think that's fair to that police officer? Because, police officers have families, retirement, disability, emotions. Come on, where's the fairness of that? Now, if the police review committee is just to review and to hold transparency, to have an officer come in and explain his actions, to show what happened on the scene, that's fine. But if you give the police review committee authority, then you're not going to have police officers, because police officers already have a chain of command. Because remember, law enforcement is a paramilitary organization by its inception. It is structured. And then you have a city government above it of civilians. And then above that, you have the court system. And above that, you have state agencies which license police officers. Remember, police officers have a license. Okay, just like your license can be revoked for getting too many speeding tickets, police officers, their license can be revoked for misconduct, for lying, for failing to be trained, for lying on their training, for drug and alcohol problems, emotional issues. It's a license. It's a privilege as well. So if you're just adding one more layer of review, that's fine. But if you're going to add another layer which can impact and punish this officer for something that you don't feel was right, you not having any training or expertise in that field, then all you'll do is run good officers away.
Now, William, that's interesting.
We're in that situation in this town already, because I don't know if y'all saw that yesterday, the city of Montgomery pays $60,000 a year for a professional to book speaking tours for our mayor. We're paying a company, a private consulting company, $60,000 a year. In other words, the cost of one police officer, so that our mayor can travel around the country and speak at events.
Yeah, I did see that, but
now you're telling me that that's a justified expense?
No, but let me ask now. William Boyd, he's on the line with us now. He asked an interesting question. What training do we have when we're on the jury? We don't have any training about police procedures and methodology either. But
absolutely true. We
asked to judge them. We asked to judge whether or not they.
Well, actually, the jury system in our country is based upon adults making decisions. That's why there are no children on jurors. Okay. And in our society, we rely, our system of justice is based upon common sense. It is the duty of the judge to explain the law. It's the duty of the lawyers to explain the evidence of what happened and why. That's how you prepare somebody to go into the jury room. They're supposed to rely on their common sense, their life skills, the events in the courtroom, and the law that the judge. And I understand your law enforcement community activist, Mr. Boyd, disagrees, and he has a right to disagree.
Yeah.
But I don't see Mr. Boyd out there becoming a police officer. I mean, he can go through the Citizen Academy. It's free. He can do a ride along. I'm sure with his years of political activism, he can go out there. And if he wants to go to law school, and he can go in. The citizen review boards that have existed in this country, that exist right now, have not been beneficial to the law enforcement environment in their communities. You can show me any statistics you want, because I've seen the same statistics, and it shows that citizen review boards that show transparency to citizens, what happened, show us the video, that's great. That works. But citizen review boards that can hire and fire.
Yeah, I don't think we need to do that, but we do.
That's the line in the sand for review.
And that's what I think we need one for, because here's what civilians don't understand. And I'm a civilian like that. There's legality and then there's morality. Often we get incensed by what we thought was immoral, but it may be lying. lying is immoral, but it is legal. Abortion, it's immoral, but it is legal. And there's where, and so that's why we need. I think we need a review board, but to do what you said, to look at the information, talk to you or anybody else, the police chief. Let us for dissemination of information rather than trying to figure out if the lawyer, if the police officer, we have nothing to do with the punishment or guilt or innocent. We just look at the facts.
I think that's perfectly fair. And reviewing body cam footage, I'll give you a pretty good example. There was a tremendous outcry in the Birmingham area this past summer about a young man who had a very good reputation, good family, and he was shot and killed by a police officer. There were threats of lawsuits, protests, the whole 9 yards. And it took months and months and months for the Alabama Bureau of Investigation to conclude in its exhaustive examination the officer had acted appropriately. And that was not good enough for the citizens in the Birmingham area. It was a cover-up, a whitewash, it was police murder, all of that, which does happen. And it has happened in the past. It will happen in the future. That's all you got to do is look at the horrible actions of law enforcement in Walker County a few years ago, which is still ongoing in federal litigation. But when the video finally came out, that 17-year-old jumped out of a car and grabbed a pistol.
Well,
for no reason. It was a simple traffic stop.
Yeah. Well,
if he had not done that, he'd be alive today on his way to play football in college.
Homewood, they had with Jabari, the guy's name was Jabari Homewood. I listened to it. Evidently, they had video of it, but it didn't make sense that a guy who normally is a pretty good guy, and all of a sudden one day he gets stopped by police, he goes to grab a gun. I don't. That doesn't pass the logic and reason test. But
I'm right up there. Tell me why a guy who's a Marine veteran drives into a Mormon church on a Sunday morning and kills people. Look, I'm sorry. I don't know how you take it. I'm real simple. There's a spirit of demonic possession in this country, and hatred and violence in our televisions and our societies, and it's not getting fixed. Maybe not going to get fixed till Jesus comes back.
Well, we do have some issues. I think of morality in our
country. Issues.
Well,
some issues.
We do have some issues, but again, that's why we have people like you out there to try to help us ferret it out. But
I understand. I don't enforce the laws.
Right.
I don't make the laws. Mm-hmm. My job, I am a legal mechanic. My job is to help fix things. Nothing more than that.
Let me ask, what is the deal on marijuana in Alabama? Because is it legal, not legal? Can you have a bag full? Can you? What's the deal on? Because I can't tell.
It's still illegal, and every legislative session we have further reduces the access to marijuana and the CBD oils, and the legislature is going to have to fix it. I'll give you a good example. When I was in high school, I had a friend. He and his family, we were all military kids. He and his family were moving to Alaska because his father knew that his kids were using marijuana so much they were eventually going to get arrested. We all lived in Georgia. And in Georgia, possession of a marijuana joint was a year in jail as a minimum. And so he moved to Alaska to save his kids from jail. Okay. And the report that came out just Monday that current marijuana that is in this country is 100 times more potent than the marijuana in the 70s because of genetic alteration. And the new marijuana is affecting hearts, livers, kidneys, brain development, and psychological damage. So the old notion that we could legalize it and everybody could just get along, that's going to have to be reviewed in this country, because what's out there now is not what it was when the old feel good, smoke a joint and have a good time came across the legislature's desk. And, you know, it's a shame. If we needed some recreation in this state, we should get a lottery, because recreational marijuana is more detrimental to our society than we think. I mean, I recently represented a teenager who was growing an acre of pot in a rural county not far from here. He had his own field, okay? And, you know, he winds up with state charges, federal charges. His parents' land gets condemned. Yeah, we don't. Alabama still has not gotten on the marijuana train. Let's just say that.
You know, it's ironic because there are more people in the hospitals of America because of alcohol than drugs, and we sell it. When COVID hit, guess what? We closed stores down, but we did not close down the liquor store.
Yeah, we closed churches, but not liquor stores.
So, and there's more people in the hospital because of liquor. We live in a duplicitous a society and schizophrenic in our laws. I mean,
yes. Oh, I agree with you. And every legislative session throws another dozen or two at us.
Another, and some more law. What we need is some legislative sessions where they figure out what they need and what they don't.
Well, unfortunately, legislatures, their only fix to things is to make a new law.
Without getting rid of the old one.
Without getting rid of the old ones. So, you know, that's one of the reasons lawyers are required to go to continuing legal education, because law changes, okay? And courts' rulings and legislative actions to keep us busy. And that's one of the citizens' duties, is to stay educated as well. We have a civic duty in this country to learn the laws. I'll give you a great example. I represented a young man who went to play a band concert in Colorado, and he plays a flute, and he brought back his flute case full of CBDs, those little gummy things,
right?
And flew on an airline, landed at Montgomery Airport, got searched at Montgomery Airport, made it all the way from Colorado. Guess what? So now he's arrested for drug trafficking.
Really?
Yeah.
I thought
just because you can do it in one state doesn't mean you can do it in another state and get away with it.
So whatever happened to reciprocity? I mean,
we have it, but let me give you, the problem with that is the states are optioning out of reciprocity. I have a gun permit. You probably do as well. Okay. I have a carry and conceal permit in Alabama. I can go to Florida, Mississippi, Atlanta. I can't go to Washington, D.C. I can't go to New York with my gun. I can't go to Washington State. I can't go to California. Where's that reciprocity? But if I've got a driver's license from Alabama, I can drive to New York, Washington State, California, Washington, D.C. See, it's called opting out. Reciprocity is supposed to be full faith and credit. We're supposed to fully adopt the laws of another state in each and every state. But it hasn't worked out that way. That's why abortion is legal in some states and not in others. That's why drugs are illegal in some states, but not in others.
That's because there are some states who make a lot of, some departments make a hell of a lot of money on drug.
And a large measure, it's regulating morality, regulating lifestyles. I don't know if you noticed, but they recently stopped an 18-wheeler driver in Arkansas who does not speak English.
You're right, yeah.
And his driver's license from New York says no name provided. I gave him a driver's license to no name provided.
Only in New York and California can that kind of thing happen.
Do you think an Alabama state trooper's not sees that and is not going to impound your truck and
Yeah, he gonna
search your truck?
Yeah, he going to
that's going to happen.
Yeah,
So,
no.
all right, Kevin, it's been a pleasure, but I got to get back to work.
Okay, well, listen, give you a number, man. You're a great lawyer. What's your number? They can reach you. How can they reach you?
I don't want to give out my number. If they want me, they can come find me. Last time I gave out my number on your show, I had a woman and a man who called me who believed that he invented the car in 1840 and Ford Motor Company stole the patent from it. And
I know who that is. Yeah, I know who that is. Yeah.
I said, sir, that would make you 160 something years old. And he got mad at me for insulting his age. So
okay. Well, listen, if they need you, they can call me. I'll give you.
Yeah, 264-5151. Have a good morning, Kevin.
Okay, appreciate it. Okay. Let me kick him from the studio. Okay, then. All right, then. What did he ask me? Ask me my question. Oh, man, sorry about that. But he's still listening. So he's still listening, so you can put that question back up there. Man, interesting. Anyway, so in the future, y'all have to know that you have to if the police stop you, listen, don't give them a hard time. I ain't gonna give you my driver license because I got a right to travel. Yeah, you do. And you're fitting you're going right to jail. So just get them in your driver license. I mean, why create a issue when there is none? Okay. Now, do you know what 517,308 people in America did last year? Of course, you don't know. Well, a lot of them did a lot of that, but 517,308 Americans. What did they do last year? Okay, if you figure that out, you're smarter than I am. Okay, and a study has shown that 30 million times a year, neighbors borrow things from each other. Let me tell you, do you know the percentage is only 12 of those people return what they borrow? Like people say, can I borrow a cup of sugar? Yeah, but you can't bring it back. I mean, so why you say borrow? I don't man, I don't just offer soft questions. But now listen, do I want to beat people up who come on the show because they won't ever come back? I mean, we may actually need, but he's an airborne ranger friend of mine, so we good. We don't have to worry about that. But y'all just so. At least I got him on. At least we understand that you stop and listen. Whatever you do not go to YouTube for legal advice. You are gonna go to jail. Okay. Do not listen to these stupid things. And some of that's AI, and some of it just absolutely acting. Get people that are acting. Okay. Don't get your legal advice from YouTube. Okay. I'm just saying. Okay. One more thing. One question. Then I get on something serious here. What is it that your mother told you that you're absolutely glad she told you and you found out she was right? Mm-hmm. What is it? What did your mother tell you that you found out that she, after all these years, she's still right? Okay, I'm just asking the question because I got one on top of my head. Okay, and I don't just ask soft questions, man. But again, you don't beat people up when they come on, especially early in the morning. I mean, come on, brother. And I want them to come back. Now, you guys can ask the tough question if you want to, but I don't want to beat people up. I mean, unless you know what? I invited Jamal on, and he brought Jamal's name. I invited Jamal on the show to talk about his run for governor. I'm not going to beat him up either, but I'll bring him on, and y'all can beat him up if you want to. Okay, but I'm just saying, let's stay out of social business. Ooh, okay then. the president is sending National Guard or somebody reserve military people to Portland, Oregon, because they're crazy down there too. Why is it that okay? If somebody cannot answer me this question, then I won't ever mention it again. But why is it that most cities in this country that are riveted with crime are ran by Democrats? Why is that? I mean, why is that? Well, I'm gonna find. I mean, I'm gonna invite him again and see if he wants to come. I mean, he's running. I mean, you can't if you can't handle me, you certainly can't handle the folks in the legislature. 'Cause they're just pee in your face and tell you it's raining, you believe it. So I'm just saying we wait until he, when he gets the nerve to come up here, I'm gonna treat him decently like I treat anybody else. That's like I did Dr. Boyd. So I'm not going to you know I'm not going to dog anybody unless you're really stupid, and then I'll have to just do what I have to do to you because you just. But Jamal has grown up a lot in the ensuing years since he was a young man. Um, you know, so I think I think he's. I don't think I probably don't think he's ready to be the governor of the state of Alabama, but I think he has a right to run. I think he ran for mayor one time and all that stuff. I mean, some people just do these things just so they can get publicity, okay, without having a clue, without having a clue um, what to do. Okay, I'll ask him those questions next time. See, I had a bunch of questions I didn't get to of my own, okay, because the man was at work, okay. And now, Willie, I agree with it. There's a judicial review process. There's an attorney review process. There's a medical review process. What process is there for law enforcement? Well, I guess they do have. They do have. They do have the. What's that internal thing they have where they investigate their own policemen. Of course, that's like asking the chicken to guard asking the fox to guard the hen house, but they do. It's an internal investigation or it's internal something where they supposedly they suppose I'm for the review board. I really am. I don't think I don't think we get the right to hire and fire policemen because we don't know what it's like to be a policeman. But we do have common sense, and we know brute force when we see it. Now we may not know the circumstances around it, but we do know it when we see it. And I think we need to be the middleman between policemen and the civilian world. We need I think we do need one, but not to have firing or hiring duties. That duty is left up to the police chief and the mayor. So I still think excuse me, thank you. Internal affairs. That's right, internal affairs. Jamal had. Really, seriously, had enough sense not to come to your show and I'm not going to dog the young man. Listen, it's okay to be young and impetuous and go out there and try to make a difference. I've often told him he's grown up a lot since I got here in 91, and whenever he started coming on the scene, I don't know, 90 something, and so I'm not against him. I don't think he's prepared intellectually or has matured enough yet to run the state of Alabama. I don't know what his educational background is, but I know he probably doesn't have, and I don't think you need a college degree to be governor. But I will say one thing: college degrees do signify that you have the ability to learn, okay, and understand. What you hopefully what you can understand it, comprehend it, and understand how it applies. Okay. Now I don't know if he has that ability at this early stage in his life, but listen, he's got a right to try. And I'll ask him the same question I'd ask anybody about that office. The office of being the mayor. I mean, I haven't ran for mayor. You know why I haven't ran for mayor? Because I know I'm not. I know I'm not qualified. Okay, I'm not qualified. I may be. I may be qualified by constitution, but not by experience. Okay, but I think I make a good city council person. Though, if she's running for governor, she shouldn't run away from an interview that could possibly benefit her. Well, Jamal is a guy. I tried to get the Governor Ivey for years, and they just kind of like blew a brother off. Okay, law enforcement is the only occupation that wear a camera on them 24/7. We need cameras in our classroom. I absolutely totally agree with you, because the camera don't lie. I think they ought to have camera in every classroom. Okay, and I don't know why we don't. The cameras are cheap now. Okay. I mean, they're cheap. I don't know why we don't. Because they don't want you to see what goes on in a lot of our classrooms. Okay, they just don't. They don't want you to. They don't want you to see what's going on. Okay, but I do believe. I don't say this lightly. I do believe that the current superintendent. I ran into him yesterday, as a matter of fact. The current superintendent seems to be a different cut from the others. The others wanted to be politically correct. I think he is more a little bit more rigid but he still has to work for a bunch of women, though. You still got to work for a bunch of women, and women are not authoritarians. Women want to love you to death. You know, I went to school one day. My son was going to private school. She said, "I'm going to love him." I said, "Don't worry about loving him. I need you to teach him. We love him. He got all the love he can handle. But what I can't give him is an education. Okay, first of all, I don't have the patience to do it. And so don't love him. You let us love him. All you have to do is teach him. Teach him. That's all you got to do. Teach him. You don't have to. You don't do anything else. Okay. So I don't want to. And that's the problem with too many women on the school board. Okay. They don't believe. You know, the state of Alabama said you can actually use a piece of wood. You can actually paddle people. But Montgomery County, we won't let them get paddled. Okay, then. Why you never ask? You never asked the mayor about the review board when he's on. You know, because I don't really think about it at that time. Because I'm all for it. I really enjoyed listening to you this morning, and I was preparing for today. It sounds like you're on the radio airways again, loud and clear. Outstanding. Wood is appreciated, William. Again, I'm going to use this platform. Anybody who wants to come can come, and we getting better every month. You know, listen. When I left 1440. Nobody knew where I was going to end up. I didn't know I was going to end up. I know where I ain't going to end up back though. It's on another station where they don't like Trump. I know I'm not going to end up there, and I just may hang out here. You know, just may hang out, make it a little bit bigger, and we are going to be the place to come get a friend, because I can have conversations here that most people won't have. They just won't have them. You know, I'm not a Democrat. I'm not a Republican. But I believe in right, wrong, and common sense, and logic and reason. If it makes sense, let's do it. If it don't make sense, I'm at the Veterans Wellness Center yesterday, right? I get in a big argument, right, with a woman, because I said women cannot do the things that men can do, but there are things men can't do that women can do. But and I like Pete Hegseth. I got to tell you, what he did the other day. Now, I've changed my mind. I've changed my mind a little bit, because the guy who told me this made some sense. You know, maybe we shouldn't have put everybody on national TV while we were dogging them out. Maybe we shouldn't have did that, especially 3-star and 4-star and 3-star generals and colonels. And maybe we shouldn't have did that. But again, we've gone so far to this side until it's hard to get back to the middle. It's going to take some time to get back to the middle. I mean, basic training. We had young men in the basic training now that could hold up a card like this, and you couldn't holler at them. You couldn't holler at them and stuff like that. And don't forget, ladies and gentlemen, if you have some problem with your computer, give me a call. That's my number right there. That's my number. So if you got any problem with your computers, and I specialize really in helping older people. Because you young folks don't want to take the time to teach, young folks. And as a matter of fact, let me get to my sponsor, because I forgot all about it yesterday, and I don't want them to get mad at the brother. But that would be where my sponsor go here? Where did my sponsor? Oh, here we go, right here. My new sponsor, One Stop Wireless at 3445 Atlanta Highway. That's One Stop Wireless, 3445 Atlanta Highway. But let me tell you where it's at. It's right on the corner of Atlanta Highway and Coliseum Boulevard. In that gas station, they're right next to the gas station, which is right there in there with them. They got all kind of phones. They got they have what they got. They got iPhones. They have Samsung phone. They got the Pixel phone. They got the Google phone. They got all kind of phones in there, and they can help you out with a great plan. They also have if you stuck it to if you stuck it to to WoW or stuck it to Spectrum, and you can't get them to come back to your house no more to put the internet in there because you wouldn't pay the bill. That's okay. They got something down there for you too. Wireless internet. And I think it runs about $35 a month. So go down there and talk to them, and it's wireless, and everything in your house can be on the internet again. Okay, you can watch TV on the internet again, and all these kinds of things. So you'll be all right. So go down there and talk to Sharika, and that number is 320-2988. 320-2988. It's called One Stop Wireless, right on the corner of Atlanta Highway and Coliseum Boulevard, right there in the gas station. Is right next door to where the gas station. I think it's a Shell. It's yellow. I don't know if they even have Shell anymore. But go down there and see. Oh, one more thing. If you got a phone that's been turned off by the man, and you you didn't you still got the phone though, because they can turn it on for you. Okay, now it won't be in the man's system anymore, but they can get your phone number on it and all kind of things. I mean, since you still got it, you might as well use it. Okay, no sense walk around with a flip phone because flip phones, they won't do all the things that. Yeah, these cell phones can actually help save your life one day. I mean, you find information in them. You can if you get lost, you can say, "Well, I want to go here. I want to go there." These smartphones. Matter of fact, I think they're too smart. As a matter of fact, but anyway, call the guys down at One Stop Wireless at 3445 Atlanta Highway, and again, their number is 320-2988. That's 320-2988. Okay, they're waiting on you right now. Okay, they don't open until 9 o'clock. They'll be open about 15, 16, about 18 minutes. They should be open. That number again is 334-320-2988. One more time, 334-320-2988. Okay, they sell some other things too. Okay, but it's One Stop Wireless. You can't beat them. Okay, good folks. I've been doing business with them now for 10 years. And I'm happy with their service, with their professionalism. I'm just happy with everything they do. And it's a small business person. It's a small business person that's trying to make a difference. And ladies and gentlemen, you can't keep going to small businesses asking them for money for your church programs, for this, for that. If you turn around and give all your big money to the companies that already got money. If you want us to give you money, small business people to give you money, then you got to support us also. As long as we're doing a good job, making sure that your needs are taken care of, because we won't do that. I had a computer store on Burbank one time, years ago. Woman comes to my office and says, "Yeah," looked at the computer I had for sale, and said, "Well, I can get this at Walmart at the same price." I said, which, and that means that I'm not overcharging you, am I? No, same price. She walked out of my shop, went to Walmart. So, needless to say, every time I saw her coming, I locked the door. Okay. so you can't, when you broke, you come to us, the small business people. But when you got money, you go to the big people who don't need your money. Walmart is one of the richest corporations in the world, and nothing against them. I like Walmart. We good. But y'all got to learn how to do business with your life, because sooner or later, Walmart's going to leave. Sooner or later, Walmart's going to leave. Some of these stores are going to leave. They already left out of Tuskegee because they were stealing everything from them. But anyway, do business with small people. Okay, I got a friend who owns Montgomery Computer Services down on Atlanta Highway. I work with them sometimes. I do some of their stuff for them on Atlanta Highway, right next to Healthwise Food. They can do anything that and they beat Best Buy and all these big companies. All they do is go on your computer and wipe all your stuff off. Okay, they don't know how to fix things. They know how to repair things, but they don't know how to fix things. And what's the difference? Well, a repair person puts the operating system back on, but a technician can take the hard drive, take it apart, and put it back together, and then you can still put stuff back on it. Okay, so I'm somewhere in between a repair guy and a technician. I'm good at some things, and some things I'm not. But when I get something I can't handle, I make sure I give it to the guy that can. Okay, so I'm just saying. So if you ever want, if and I don't build computers. I can if I had to, but the folks down at Montgomery Computer Services, I think what 277-6902, 277-6902. Okay, and they're open at 9 o'clock, and they're really, really good folks. It's called Montgomery. Let me see, Montgomery Computer. Okay. SERVICES. Okay, there we go. Okay, so that's them. So go down there and see them, or you can call me. And I actually specialize in going to people's residence. I'm a residence guy. I'm not a business. I don't want to get involved with businesses too much, unless it's a really small business like mine. But other than that, I don't want to get into networking and all that stuff. I don't want to do that. Okay. So what XI repair couldn't interesting. Do you have an iPhone? Do you know how to remove OS 26 and get me back on iPhone? I don't know. I don't know if you can if you can go back once you, because they do updates to your phone. And I don't know if you can go back, but that's a good question. Hey, put that on the line on the Facebook on the podcast thing here, and I imagine there's somebody out there that can answer that question. I can't answer that question for you on that one. Okay, who's this? Camilla. Will he was a speaker of the first Tea Party rally? Who was that? Oh, me? Yeah. Well, I did speak at the Tea Party thing. Listen, theoretically, I mean, philosophically, I agree with the Tea Party. Still do, but they don't seem to be in business anymore. Okay, I'm just saying. So you want to give these guys a call. So if you need if you're a business and you need network. Oh, one more thing too. October the 14th. Remember that day. October the 14th. Windows 10 is done. Okay, there now you can still use it, but you probably won't be able to get onto your bank and do banking and things of that nature, because it is the security in Windows 10 will not be adequate enough to access your banking information. Okay, so if you don't want to get a new computer, then you certainly gonna have to upgrade to Windows 11, and Windows 12 is coming. So Windows 10 is to become obsolete. You can still use it, but now don't be surprised though if you go to certain websites and they won't let you in. Okay, that's why you call me, and I can fix you up, or you can take it down to Montgomery Computer Services and they'll fix you up. So either way it go, because I work with them too. So either way it go. Okay. Let me see now. Let's see. Once the black man and the white left, they disappear. Wonder why? Well, I don't know. I can't tell you. Anyway, maybe somebody else can answer this question for him. iPhone, iOS 26. Do you have an? I do. Do you know how to remove iOS 26? No, I do not. And take you back. I don't know if you can go back. Hold on, let me call my good friends right now. See if I can get you the answer to that. Let me see if I can get you the answer that question right now. Y'all hold tight a little bit here, because I'm gonna see if I can get you the answer on the air to that one. Let me see. I may be able to get you that answer right now. ST you. Okay, here we go. Okay, there we go. 315. I'll get rid of that right quick. Okay. That would be 315. Okay. Let me see if I can get you the answer to your question. All right, then. See, that's what I like about what I do here. I can just reach out and touch people. Okay. Yeah, see if I can reach out and touch somebody.
Hello, it's Tyler.
Tyler, this is Kevin. Don't say anything. Don't cuss me out anything because I got you on the air. I got you on on the pod. I was giving you some free. Plugs here, but somebody asked me. This is Tyler, the owner of Montgomery Computer Services down Atlanta Highway, right next to Healthwise Food. Best computer people in town. But he wants to know. I figure you in the car. Can you reverse the Windows? Apple software on iPhone. Do you know if the guy wants to go back to the older version?
I don't do a lot of iPhone stuff, and I'm not 100% sure on that.
Yeah, I didn't know. I know they do updates and stuff like that to the phone, so I don't know if you can go backwards. But you're the only person I know that's smarter than I am in this business.
Well, I don't do a lot of work on cell phones, so that's that would be
cell phone play. Yeah, that's what I thought.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, how you doing, man?
Doing all right. I'm headed to the office now.
Oh, okay then. And that office is located where?
5141 Atlanta Highway.
Atlanta Highway. Best computer people in town. Trust me, I know. All right. Appreciate it, man.
All right. Y'all have a good Friday. Thanks.
We do. But they do. So somebody who's an Apple aficionado would have to call us and let us know, because I don't know about. I know they do change the algorithms, or they change the geometric makeup of these iPhones with that software, I believe, sometimes. So I don't know, but I will find out, or just go to hold on, wait a minute, what am I talking about? I'm sitting here right in front of a computer. Let me see if you can get it done. Okay. Let me see if I can get it. Okay. So can you downgrade DOWN Apple iPhone PHO? Let me see if I can get the Apple iPhone OS. How to downgrade Apple iOS. Okay, here we go. LOS 26 downgrade to 18. Click the downgrade. Okay, now this is what it says. Go to Google and it will tell you, it says, downgrade iOS 26 to iOS 18. Simple, fix all kinds of iOS stuff issues. Yeah, monophone. So, go to tenorshare.net, TENNOR, and it has some instructions right there that you can see if you can. Okay. So how to downgrade? Yeah, this is what. Okay, so you go right. Let me put this on the thing here. Copy there, and let us go here. So you go here, you'll be able to find out the information to your. You'll be able to find the information out to your question. Okay, which is right there. Okay, go to there, and they can help you. They can help you with that question. See, I'm one thing I love about technology is that it can answer its own question. You got a question about it. It can, somewhere out there, somebody has already asked that same question and put it someplace. So that's where you want to go. Tenorshare, tenorshare.net, TENORSHARE.net. But go there, and they do have a thing where you can do it. Okay, so. All right, then. That's why you call me, because I'm brilliant. And if I don't know Yeah, which is what I said. Yeah, I appreciate that, Camilla. I appreciate that. Yeah, that's all you got to do. That's all you got to do. But this is the website right here where they give you great directions on actually how to do it. Okay. Anyway, so moving right along. I mean, I wasn't planning on being here today. I was planning on getting up right about this time, but I felt guilty because I had to leave yesterday for a little while. And folks, now here's my goal for next week. Now, we're going to try to get 100 people on our show tuning in and doing things. Now, I realize people go to the website, but when we need 100 people, I figure if I get to the 100 people thing, then I'm on my way to stardom. Okay. So next week, our goal, tell your friends, tell everybody, 100 people subscribe to it. I don't even know how you subscribe to the show or anything like that. But we want to do that because I got to sell some advertising, or else I got to go get a job. Got to give this up. So y'all help me out here next week. At least 100 people on one day. That's what we want to do because Don keeps dogging me, saying with 3 people, let's lock in. Well, 3 people, maybe. I mean, most people don't have time to sit around on a computer and watch people. I mean, you got TV, you got everything. Well, although none of those guys like me. And the only time I get on TV is when I go to Joe Hagler's show. So next week we want to up our viewer rate here so we can try to make a living here. So I don't have to get off the podcast thing here, okay? Because I don't. My brother got to eat. Well, they hung up. That's what they hang up for. Okay, then. So anyway, so let's do that next week, okay? Someone needs to what? Needs to employ. Oh, well, yeah. Well, I could. You help us make some money. We'll cut you in. We'll cut you in on a check. You know that ain't no problem. I mean, nothing's free in life. Yeah. Yes.
Hello.
Yes.
You say you need 100 people to do what now?
I want 100 people looking at our show next week on the thing.
And what you have to do just dial it up?
Yeah, you just got to go to the Facebook page.
Okay. I'll get some friends to dial you up if you would do one thing.
What's that?
Not talk about Democrats for a week.
Okay, that's that's gonna be hard. that's gonna be hard to do.
I'll get you 10 friends to dial it up.
That's gonna be hard to do, but that's okay. Okay. Wait a minute. Let's start off with. Wait. Let's start off with Monday. Let's say I won't talk about Democrats on Monday, but if you get me more listeners or more lookers, okay, then I'll lay off the Democrats for a week.
Well, no, you got to make it a week.
Well, I'm just saying.
And I get them to call it. We got to call you Monday.
Monday, whatever. I don't want to call. I want viewers.
You want to dial you up Monday,
right? Or viewers, or either way it go. Yeah. So let's get this thing rolling because it's the only place in town where you really have free speech. I mean, I don't.
Well, I got a huge class that I can get to do this.
Okay, then I'm gonna be nice to you, and then yeah. Well, I'll hook you up.
Is the week on?
Huh?
Not talk about the Democrats for a week. I'm still with that week.
Okay, what if I don't say the word Democrat?
No, you just can't say period. You can't make no innuendos. You can't do none of the above.
Okay, I'll find something else to talk about next week. But that means every day you got to have them people participating in the conversation.
Yeah, if they feel like participating, if I forget the first 10, you said 10, or you said
no, I said 100. Said 100. See, if you got 100 people, I ain't got time to talk about the Democrats. Make it happen.
Yeah, okay, we'll see.
All right, appreciate it. Yeah. I mean, it's the freest show in town. Okay, I mean, you can talk. What's this about transgender thing? Oh, don't talk about transgenders either. Well, okay, all right, Marcel. Then you get some people into the show, and I won't talk about transgender because Lord knows I get tired of talking about them. But everywhere I go, every day, somebody's bringing something else about them. Okay, like they're real people. like they actually can change what they were. I'm gonna leave that alone. Okay. Anyway, don't forget to if you got any cell phone needs or anything like that, go by my good friends at One Stop Wireless, which is located at 3445 Atlanta Highway, which is right there on the corner in the gas station, Atlanta Highway and Coliseum Boulevard. Okay. I'm just saying that's what you might want to do. And tell those guys out there, you heard about them on the show here, and life goes on. Anyway, 3445 Atlanta Highway. Their phone number is 320-2988. That's 334-320-2988. Well, I got to go. So next week, I expect these numbers to be going really good. Because I won't talk about any Democrats next week, but I'll be thinking about them. You can believe that one. Anyway, have a great weekend. And don't forget to go to the fair. Now I got to get these tickets to my grandkids. I got to get these tickets to the grandkids now. So y'all have a great day, and I'm going to buy. But anyway, yeah. But you can, Greg, you can do that. So just go to where I told you to go, and you'll be able to find the information about how to do the thing with your. Somebody said it's gonna be mighty quiet next week. Listen, you are not supposed to step on a brother when they're already on the ground. Okay, I'm just saying. So anyway, folks, we got to go. But remember what I always say. Remember what I always say. It is not the falling down that gives us strength. What gives us strength is getting up every time we do. So all I can tell you, the word of the day is keep getting up. Oh, and the lesson of life today, I didn't do it. Hold on. Let me get lesson of life. Now I got to put it here because well, I just got to do it. I got to put it there. Normally I give it, but we got a great message today for lesson of life. Okay, and I'm just saying, here it is. Before I go, what comes easy won't last long. And what lasts long didn't come easy. Right? Remember that. Okay? See you later. Y'all have a great day. Remember, what lasts long did not come easy. And what comes easy won't last long. Do what's hard first, and everything else in life will be easy. Have a good day. Airborne.